Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're playing Talking Cube. And this is actually sort of my attempt to represent what you're going to see on the grid in a moment, because the constructor here, Olma, am I pronouncing that correctly? Let me just double check. Olima, excuse me, has sort of created like a 3D cube with a bit of a cutout there for where the mouth is, and it looks as if the cube is actually mouthing off some words. I say mouthing off almost sounds like it's swearing at somebody. I don't think that's what it's intended to say. It's just kind of creating the shapes in its mouth of various words. And it also has some crop dots, black crop dots to represent the eye. So you're going to be surprised. It looks pretty similar to what the grid is there. And one thing I'm going to just quickly say, and then I'm going to get right into the puzzle. The cutout from the cube almost reminds me of Apple's own logo. And I remember somebody actually thinking, oh, maybe this is sort of like an homage to Alan Turing, who famously killed himself with a laced apple. And supposedly that reporter actually asked kind of the Apple founders and said, is that really what it's meant to be? And it's like, no. It would have been phenomenal if we thought that was the case, but that is not actually what the logo is. It's just an apple with a bite taken out of it. Anyway, let's take a look at today's puzzle. It's a simple one today. Really straightforward set of rules that all fit easily and comfortably on the screen. You can see what I mean though by the cube though, that you've got this 3D cube, the cutout here for the mouth. It is almost like saying something, and this is almost like speech lines coming out. And then obviously the lines there at the top. I'm guessing this is almost like feet, kind of as it stands on it. Anyhow, I'm giving a character to a cube. Shall we just move on and take a look at the Sudoku puzzle? We've got the following set of rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. We have German whispers, so adjacent digits on a green line differ by at least 5. So if this cell here is a 2, for example, these two cells that are neighboring of the 2 must be 7, 8, or 9 to be 5 or more away. If this was a 7, this would have to be 5 or more away again, and because the 2 is already placed, that would have to be a 1, and so on and so forth. Now you end up with this pattern of high digits, 6, 7, 8, or 9, low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, and oscillating continuously between them. Notice in my list of digits I did not include the number 5. If you try and place a 5 on a German whisper line and try and fill in any of its neighbors, you're going to see why that is impossible. Lastly, we have digits on a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio. So if this cell here was a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4 to be in a 1 to 2 ratio, and not all dots are necessarily given. So nothing wrong with example with having a 4 in here next to the 4, other than the fact it's on a German whisper line, but you get what I mean. There are no negative constraints. I can have as many numbers that are 2 to 1 apart without breaking the puzzle. So, bit simpler today, but I think simplicity sometimes is the key here. It is a highly rated puzzle, 91% at the time of recording, so I'm really looking forward to this. And if you want to play along, have a conversation with this talking cube, link will be in the description down below. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. And I think I get on fabulously, because these have to be low. Probably a bit quick there, but if I just remove this and just let's pretend I don't know the polarity of these cells. This is green, and therefore the two neighbors are going to have the same polarity. They're purple. Now, the question is, can you have two cells that are red on a black Kropke dot? Well, that would have to be 6 or 8. They're clearly not in a 2 to 1 ratio. This doesn't work. Purple here has to be blue, and green here has to be red. And we can start coloring. Red here is meant to represent high digits, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Think sort of thermometer high, hot. And blue here is representing cold or low digits, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So we can color all of these fairly quickly. We even have 4 blues in column 4. Nothing else. I mean, close. Oh, 4 reds in column 4. So fairly restricted from the get-go. This is also very restricted. These can only be 1, 2, or 4 with a definite 2 in between them. If you remember the black dot kind of sets, they can either be a 3, 6, which this isn't because that would have to have 1 red. So that's gone. Can't have an 8. You're left with 1, 2, and 4. Only way to have sort of 1, 2, and 4 connected is it's either 1, 2 or it's 2, 4. The 2 is clearly forced. Right, what else do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3 reds. We've got another kind of red in here. Between this is essentially 1 blue, 1 red. So these two are blue-gray to represent the 5. The possible 5. This is definitely blue, isn't it? Because we've already said this column has 4 reds. Therefore, this is blue. It actually gives me polarity for this line as well. This is highly unusual. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, and again, the 4th blue. So this is blue or gray. Right. We're not going to get away with it being this easy. So we're clearly going to have to start thinking about 4s and 6s. If you ask why 4s and 6s specifically, it is very deliberate. If you think about all of the possible digits that can be on a German whisper line, and you think about what are the possible neighboring cells that are 5 or more away, you'll see that as you get towards the middle, it becomes more and more restricted until you only have a single possible pair. With the 4, it can only be a 9. With the 6, it can only be a 1. And then it goes back up again. So 4s and 6s are the most restrictive. 3 and 7 are the second most, etc., etc. If we think about 6 and 4, you can see in quite a few places where 4 cannot be. So actually, let's do this column first, since we've colored all the blues. That's not a 4. Needs 2 neighbors. Can't both be 9. Same challenge. 2 neighbors that are both red. 2 neighbors that are both red that have to be unique. So this is actually a 4-5 pair. Do we have something similar going on with the 6? Not quite. So this can't be a 6. This can't be a 6. And this can't be a 6, actually, because it's got 2 cells that are neighbors in the same box. So this, weirdly, is the 6 with 3 1s in a very weird shape here. Neither of these is 1 anymore. This is a 2-4 pair. This is clearly going to be the 3. This is now an 8-9. They are the only 2 cells that are allowed to be neighbors. I don't know. For a second there, I was thinking it's a 7, but it's not. It's not 6. It could be a 7. It can't. This is not a 4. Sleuth, pay attention. That would require 2 9s. That's a 2. That's a 4. That is a 9. That is an 8. That 4 places a second 9 in here. This is not 6 or 9. This is 7 or 8, both of which work. This is not 1, not 3. It is 2 or 4. Can't have a 4 next to an 8. It is a 2. Next to the 2, this can only be a 7. Can't be a 6. And it's not 9 or 8. We've already placed all of these. So in here, we have a 9 with something else. 9. Well, actually, this 9 tells me the order. That's 9. And we have 3 and 4 that are remaining digits that are not left. It can't be a 5. And it's not a 4. Can't have a second 9 in here. That's 3. That's 8. These are high. I don't know if I'm going to color the entire grid, but it's working for now. I'm going to keep going, at least on the German whisper lines, maybe more. 1 in here. So let me just think about options. So I'll tell you, this is not a 7, because essentially these are 7-9 pairs, because 6 and 8 are gone. If that's a 7, these would have to be from 1 and 2, and I've already used up the 1. So that's 9, that's 7, that can only have 2 as its neighbor. This is the only remaining blue in the column, that's a 3. We're surrounded by 8 9s again. That tells me that's not the 9, that's 8, that's 9. This is, well, 1 or 2. It's not a 3, and 4 is too close to the 8. And this is 6 or 7. Well, 8 or 9 are gone, and it depends on what this is. This is 1 or 2. 9, not really restricted. 1 and 2 are gone, but 3 or 4. Not restricted. What is this cell? Other than not being a 9. It's not a 6, because I can't have a double 1. So this is 7-8, creating a 7-8 pair in column 5. That's not a 6, because that can't be a 1. It can be a 7, it can't be an 8, and it can be a 9. And this is not really restricted, it's 2, 3, or 4. This is 1 or 3. 2 and 4 are gone. If this is a 3, it would be 9 with an 8. So, I mean, this is 6 or 8. It's not 7, it's not 9. This is again another 1, 3. And it's not a 3. Because 9 has got, and it has 2 red neighbors. They can't be 8 and 9. Where would I put the 9 between these two? So that's a 1. That's a 3. Therefore, this is an 8. This is a 9. This could be anything. Not helpful. This is 1 or 3. It is not a 2. And 4 is too close. This 1 means 7 and 8 are both available. And this is, surprisingly, 6 or 7. I can actually have a double 1 in here with a 6. 7 or 8. Not 1, not 3. This is 2. Can't be a 4 because that would require a second 9 in here. This is 3 or 4. It's not a 3. It's actually just 4. 3s, you can see now, just classic Sudoku. That's placed. That's all the low digits done in this box. They're all done in here. 2, you can see, is in there. 4 is anywhere. And 1, yeah, not very useful. I will probably delete these corner pencil marks. Not very useful at all, really. What else can I do? No. So 9, I need a 9 in this box. And the only place it can be is in here. So to complete this column, I need a second 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and a second 6, 7. This 3, I mean, this can be the 4, 5. That would make this a 3. This would be 6 or 7, and this would be another 6 or 7. Not sure. It looks like you can resolve it from here, but I'm not sure if you need the rest of the grid to kind of solve this. If I just think about options for a moment. So to complete this, I need 5 and 6, as well as a second 3, 4. I don't see a problem with 5 or 6. In fact, here's something. 4, dear oh dear, 4, 3. How about some Sudoku, Sleuth? It is, after all, what it's called. This cannot be 4 anymore. So the 4 is in here. This is now 5 or 6. This is 5, 6, 7. I can lose some of the incorrect colors. This is from 4, 5, 6. The 5 in here means this is the only place for a 5. I've already done all the low digits, so these are only high. They are from 6, 7, and 8 with a definite 6 in here. In fact, this 7, 8 pair tells me that's a 6 for sure. That's all the high digits done. We're left with 1, 2, and 5 in here. That's not a 2, that's not a 1. That's all there is to it, okay. We can pencil mark these. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 are gone. It is from 6, 7, 8 that's left. That's not an 8. Am I going to keep coloring? It's been working so far, so I'm not going to disrupt it. I've got a triplet, which allows me to just place a 5 in here. Then I have a 7, 8. This 7, 8 specifically can only be in here, so that's not a 6. Obvious as well, because that's a 7, 8. We needed a 6 in one of these two cells, but it's another way of spotting it. And then in here we need a 7, 8, a 4, and a 6. So 4, 6. And you can see the 7, 8 is not in this cell. So this is definitely a 4, 6. Interesting. I don't know if I'm really going to pencil mark all of this. Let me just think, what else can I do? I mean, I can pencil mark what these are. Is this forced yet? Any of this? No, no. Yeah, 5 gives me a 4 in here. And that 5, sleuth 6, 7, gives me a 5 in here, which means this is a 4, 6 pair. This is 6 or 7. I have a second 1, 2 in this box, in this column, and it's not this cell because of the 1, 2 in here. That's 1 or 2, and for the finish, it is in fact a 5. Then we have a 6, 7 pair, making this a definite 8. That's all the reds done. This is a 3, 4 pair, not this cell. Not resolved. Interesting, still not resolved. Okay. So 4 and 6 means these are from 1, 2, 5. That can't be a 5. This is low, therefore. This is high, therefore. And it's not 9 and it's not 8. It is in fact 6 or 7. Got 3 lows, including a possible 4, unfortunately. So doesn't guarantee this in any shape or form. Right, let's just think about what these are. This is 1, 4, 6, I'm going to say. Yeah. These, I have a 7, 8 in here with a 5. 5 is in one of 2 cells. This 5 is looking at this 2. That's not a 2. That's not a 2 either. This is a 1, 5 pair. The 4, 6. No, it's not enough. So this is from 3. Hang on, there's too many. So it's 3, 4, 6, or 7. What is this cell? It's not 3. But it can be 4, 6, or 7. This is not helpful. Okay. 9 is in one of these 2 cells. Not great. We know 9 is in one of these 2 cells. What am I missing now? It's sort of, again, got harder again all of a sudden. I mean, uniqueness would tell you this is not 4, 6 because you'd end up with a 4, 6 pair that are impossible to disambiguate. So I'm fairly sure this is 7 or 8 and this is 4 or 6, but I don't want to use that unnecessarily. I'm sure there is a more logical explanation than just assuming uniqueness that for one reason or another I'm just not seeing right now. What are these? So we have a 2 and 3 with a 7, 8. See, I haven't really thought about this column. And I should, because the only place for a 5 is in here. Then I'm left with a second 1, 2 and a second 6, 7. I'm just counting the number of high digits that we have. It feels like there's a lot. So I said in here I need, well, this is not 9. This is 1, 2, or 6, 7, 8. Specifically, it's 1, 2, or 6, 7. Now, if it is a high digit, then all of these would have to be low. Yeah, tricky. I'll keep going. I'm missing something. I keep saying. Such as a 3 looking at this 1, 6, 7, 6. Sleuth, sometimes. This 1 gives me a 2, which forces a 7. This is not a 2 anymore. This is a 1, 5 pair. That 1 is not doing enough work for me. does eliminate a 1 from up here and a 1 from down there. That 1 gives me a 5, in fact. Really missed this one. Okay. That 5 gives me a 5 up here. This is now 7 or 8. It is, in fact, an 8 because of the 7. That's 7. That's 8. This is 2, 3, 7. That's not a 7. That's not a 2. The rest seem okay for now. Four, 6. So what do we have in here? We need a 6 in there. 2. Am I just not using the clues that I've been given enough? Is that the challenge? 1, 2, 6, 7. Let me just think about this for a second. Yeah, no, doesn't feel like it helps. Such as this 6 giving me a 7, give me a 6. This is not 6 or 7, it can only be a 2. That 6 gives me a 4. Right. Don't know what happened there for a second. I just... Sudoku blindness really, really struck hard now. For no good reason, as far as I could tell. Right. Much better. Much better. 4s can only be in here, which gives me a 6, which gives me a 4, eliminates the 4, 6. This is 7 or 8. In fact, it is a 7. This is an 8. These are all 4 6s. This is a 6. This is a 4. This is a 6. And then to finish this box is a 9. 9. If I've... Oh, hang on. 2, 1. If I've not made any mistakes, that's the 8 for the finish. I made this look incredibly difficult there at the end. Sorry about that, Olima, but I mean, it's a lovely puzzle, fairly straightforward and approachable. Kind of approachable break-in terms of at least starting the polarity, continuing with this line, and you can get sort of the right-hand side of this grid fairly quickly. And then if you're not paying attention, as was the case here, the left-hand side just sort of makes it a bit trickier if you're not keeping a good eye for classic Sudoku. I need to sort of find more puzzles that are fusing variants and classic, where you have to use both constantly throughout, because it seems to be a particular weakness for me. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and see what YouTube is recommending for you next. Bye-bye for now.